So there.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. I'm so happy you're here and grateful sharing this occasion to learn what's normal in aging and versus what's not normal in aging. That's the objectives of the workshop. So related to various cognitive functions, and then also we'll discuss the impact of changing sensory awareness and processing as dementia progresses. Since we are 6 feet away, I may take my mask off at times. This is just really warm, so I hope you're okay with that. All right, you're ready. So I want to begin with a little quiz. You guys got your little notebooks and paper. So we'll do a little quiz. Can you hear me okay? All right, before we begin, all right. That's fine, sounds good. Very casual, if you need to stand, we're going to be doing one interactions anyway. We're all equipped with a handy-dandy notebook and a pen. That's great. So just a couple of things, and I'm going to ask you to write down what you think the answer is, and then throughout the course of this hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, we'll see how long it lasts, you see what the answer is, okay? So number one, as a caregiver, it's important to learn to, and choose one, respond, not to react, point out what the person with dementia is doing wrong, or take over. So those are your choices, 3 choices. As a caregiver, it's important to learn to choose one, respond, not to react, point out what the person with dementia is doing wrong, or take over. Number 2, in care partnering, if something isn't working well, who needs to change? The care partner or the person with dementia? And number 3, if it's not normal aging, it's always dementia, true or false? And then the last one. There's more, but I'm just going to do 4. Okay? We get on with it. Human beings take in data in 5 ways: what we see, hear, feel, touch, smell, and taste. The most powerful sensory input is which one? Sure. Human beings take in data in 5 ways: what we see, hear, feel and touch, smell, and taste. The most powerful sensory input is what? Right. More to come. Very excited. All right. I just want you to do this with me. I don't know if some of you are my age, some of you aren't, that's fine. I mean, you may remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just do it with me. Yeah, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something to think about throughout the presentation. All right. We're going to learn a few other little things like that. I think it's fun and helps to remember things, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another thing you're going to learn about is visual, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. So I got a little rhyme to do with that too later. It'll be fun. So let's begin with a little Teepa smell. Oh, just open the video. It's not going to help. Let's try it again. Here we go. Y'all get enough to eat? Need any more to drink? There's more over there if you need something. There we go. Normal versus not normal aging. Either there. I'll turn it up too. We'll make sure you can hear it. I know we have the AC back there.
What we're going to talk about now is the difference between normal aging and not normal aging. Now, understand I did not say dementia. I just said normal aging, not normal aging, because one of our big misconceptions in this country is that if it's not normal aging, it's going to be dementia. And that's not true. So we've got to get that one off the table. So what I'm going to do very quickly is give you 2 quick little role plays that are going to take you through normal versus not normal. So I'll do normal first. I'm in the living room. And I've been watching a TV program, and the program finishes, and I decide, you know what? I'm thirsty. I think I'm going to make a pot of coffee. And I head toward the kitchen to make coffee. But before I get all the way to the kitchen, the telephone. And so I answer the telephone. Hello? Oh, hey, sweetheart. How you been? Well, yes, of course I know who it is. It's, right on the tip of my tongue, starts with B. Betty, of course it's Betty. Sorry. Recognize your voice right away, just couldn't give me your name. Yeah, I see your name. Huh? What? Oh, no, I'd love to get together. Oh, today? Okay, what? At 2 this afternoon? All right. Oh, at the mall. Okay, well, which area? Macy's. Oh, that's where J.C. Penney's was, right? They moved out and they, I know what you're talking about. Absolutely. The menswear, is that the same? Yeah, I know where to be. 2 o'clock, I'll be there. Wait right beside the door. I'll be waiting right beside the door. It's supposed to be a little chilly second. Yeah. Huh? What? Oh, they opened a new chocolate store. Well, you know me. You know what I'm gonna get. I'll get caramels. I'll get caramels. You're gonna get. I know you like the white baby stuff in the chocolate. Yes, coconut, of course. That's you. Huh? Oh, no, I'll be happy to call and see Margaret was done. That'd be great. Yeah. Oh, vacation pictures? Oh, yeah, I'll bring it. Wait till you see us all that bathing suit. Oh, I was just kidding. Just teasing. You know how I am. Such a teaser. Huh? What? No, I didn't say anything. I was just talking to myself. Like a note. All right, sweetheart. Well, I'll see you then. Love you. Okay. Bye-bye. What did I come in? I said, hang on. I was in the living room. I was watching the TV. Program ended. Why could I not think of that? Lord knows I'm losing it. Yeah, all of you've gone dead silent. Because all of your brains are going, oh shit, I have this.
True.
Every single one of your brains is going, oh my God. And your brain is going, I can't be dementia. I don't think that's dementia. That's just normal. Isn't that normal? I think that's normal. Your brain is talking to itself. One side is going, I think you've got that. No, she didn't say that was normal. I think she got that was normal. I think it was okay. That happens every single time. The room gets dead silent. Because if you just think old people are worried about this crap, no, we're all concerned. Because you're going, I think I've done that. I did that just yesterday. But you totally forgot because in that moment your brain was going, because I said that was normal. It's going to be normal first. So here's what I think I better do. Do this.
Deep breath. Ready?
Roll your shoulders. And you better do it one more time. You need to let it go. Breathe out all the way because you guys are going. Deep breath. And by the end, your brain's going. Especially when I had to come back and sit in the chair. You're going, oh my God. So.
All right, great. Cover a deep breath again. Right. Has something like this ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
So think to yourself for a few moments, why do you think it happened?
You get sidetracked, you get other distractions.
Sidetrack, yeah. What are you saying?
Distraction.
Right, thanks for joining us. Help yourself to some lunch, please, if you have any. Okay. How about you? Do you have any? Oh. You're young, it's not happening. All right. So breathe slowly and deeply, and make sure to breathe out fully when you feel anxious like that. If you think something's going on, it helps to drop your cortisol levels, so you can think through the process. So let's everybody just take a deep breath. Ready? And exhale. I could turn hands right here on your ribs. I got a little gravity going on with my stand, but I don't care. Let's just breathe, right? You can feel your lung expand, right? Breathe. Inhale through your nose. Good. And exhale through your mouth. Excellent. Inhale. And exhale. Excellent. And one more time. Ready? Inhale. And exhale. Y'all feel that a little better? After that little de-stressing there, that's always good to take 5 and do that. So let's watch a little bit more. Teepa, she's got some more gems for us to learn here. Key. Okay. I feel like keep it right now.
Okay. So here we go. Hand up. You and me.
Go.
Take things from, do this, out there.
You gotta
5
participate.
ways to take data from the world around you and put it in here so you can use it. You can process it, you can understand it, you can appreciate it.
Yes.
So the number 1 way, notice how it's separated from all the others. It's special. Do this, be an artist. Visual data. Visual data is the most powerful incoming data. It is what human beings prefer, and it is what they want first in any way. But what you see is the most powerful sensory input that you're going to get in your brain. And here's the interesting thing about visual. Show me what you see. Point to what you see, right? Here's what I'm going to tell you. Put your hand back here. This is where you process in your brain what you see. So brain activity in the occipital area, the back of your brain, is where you process visual input. There's a little bit of distance there, isn't there? What connects the input system to the processing system is wiring. And in dementia, all wiring goes on the fritz and then dies. Just so you know. So there's a lot of wiring, and it's complicated wiring. It's actually fairly complicated because how many eyes do you have? 2, so you've got to take in data from 2 eyes, integrate those 2 pieces of data, process it, and then make sense of it. So all that's happening in the back of the brain. I'll show you in a few minutes. There's a huge amount of your brain devoted to visual processing. It's huge. There's also wiring between what you see and some other parts. Second way that you get data in your brain, if you're guessing, look at how it points to this. What you hear, auditory incoming. Auditory data is the second most important way that human beings get data into their brain. Auditory. But if you hear a sound off to the side, what will you immediately do? Look, because this is primary. This just alerts you to go look and see what it is you want to see. So when it comes to dementia, visual than auditory. People with dementia pay more attention, and I'm really getting more value out of what they see than what they hear. This is secondary, this is primary. Guess what caregivers like to do a lot of? Do this. Y'all love to run your mouth. You think they're paying attention to what you're saying. What they're doing is watching you when you're saying it. They're picking up on your visual cues, but they're missing the content. Do this. So take the weapon that you've created, put it to your head, and pull the trigger. Because what happens is we think they're processing what we're giving them verbally, and what they're really processing is how we look visually and how we sound, but not necessarily the content. And because we're not on the same page, they're not getting this, they're getting this. We think they're getting this. This is not going to match. Who has to change? We do, so we have to use less of this and start with this. And learn to use visual when they're not. Third way you get data in, auditory, put your hands right here. Your temporal lobes. Both sides are involved, but they're very different. This side is very different than this side. How many ears do you have? 2. All forms of dementia, all forms attack the brain asymmetrically. It means it attacks one side of the brain more than the other. That's how it works. It hits one side and then it spreads more. So what happens in general, the left side of the brain is generally attacked sooner, faster, more devastatingly than the right side of the brain. We don't know exactly why, but most patterns of dementia attack, you'll see more on the left than on the right. Left, right, language areas, but they're different. Come back to that in a little bit. Third way you get data in your brain. Take that middle finger, drop it down, and touch the back of your head. Now this is actually complicated. And this is one of the most complicated, and it also takes up a lot of brain space. This is sensory motor. You feel something, you do something, you do something, you feel something. They're wired together. So that when you feel something, if you like it, you do more of it. If you don't like it, you stop doing it. So when you feel something, you do something to change or encourage or facilitate what you're feeling, and if you don't like it, you don't do it anymore. Here's the biggest challenge of dementia care. Turn to the person next to you.
Each other. There you go.
And if you will come up this time. All right, now what we're going to do is eliminate vision, and we're not going to talk. Okay, so we're taking away 2 of the ways that you would normally be able to get data into your brain, and I'm just going to use that third way. Go ahead and do that so you get the feel of what it feels like.
Yeah.
So you can already tell where I'm going with this. This is not a good one to start with, because most people are not fond of the idea of starting an interaction like this.
Yeah, we do it, right?
And I do this particularly so you start to get the idea of no touching until you've done a visual, verbal, and only then are you allowed to do the touch. You got to make sure they come together. So here's what we're going to do. You close your eyes. People with dementia, put your hands behind your back, because I want you to feel incredibly vulnerable.
Well, then you're going to be the
That's what
person.
this disease does. It rocks your skills, so you suddenly are pretty vulnerable. And you thought you were confident. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You watch me and do to them what I do to my person. And y'all should have your eyes closed. There should be no peeking. Notice how many of you opened them up to see what I was up to. Yeah, they're sneaky like that. Okay, you ready? We're going to use these. Okay, you ready?
Make sure your eyes are closed. You 2 partnering up.
Okay. And now, one more.
You ready?
Yeah, come on, here. Like, that is my hair.
Okay, here we go. So, everybody get the chew it? Okay. How did it make you feel? For those of you who were touched. Yeah.
Why are you touching me?
Yeah. Yeah. So why did you think it felt that way it did?
You didn't know why.
Just turn to your partner. Because you can talk to these 2 ladies, or you can talk to these 2 men here. You choose. And talk about that. Why do you think it felt the way it did? Is it often that we often do to people instead of do with people when we're taking care of people? Do something. So what do you think?
How many of you found at some point you were being touched, your eyes flew open? How many of you realize you had a really hard time not going, oh, wait a minute, hang on a minute. Now, what I want you to do right now is touch yourself where we just touched you. Go ahead and touch yourself where we made you touch us.
Brush them off the crumbs off the hands.
so that feels different than when we touched you. Yeah, because if you are doing it yourself, you're actually sending and receiving, and it's a closed circuit. However, when we do to you, it's an open circuit, and for your brain, we eliminated the knowledge of where and when the touch was going to occur, and so your brain was going, oh, 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 oh. It was a hyper alerting, and let me tell you something that we don't think about touch. Light moving touch. Light moving touch. Cockroaches crawling on your skin. Clothes coming back fast. Someone's light moving touch is an alerting, arousing touch. It's the hyper alert kind of thing. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Because it says something's coming and you don't know what it is. And so what happens when we put our hands on people, even lightly, so you touch them lightly and say, you touch sweetheart. Boom! Because it came out of nowhere. So what I'm going to do is have you try something a little different. And we'll really work on this skill set. But I want you to test drive the model and see if it makes a difference. Okay? I want you to shake hands with the person. Now, I want you to tell me for a second, what's the most common contact you have with other human beings when we're greeting them and interacting with them? Hand contact, right? So shake hands, and notice the next thing you're going to want to do is like up. Up. Well, that's a bit of a problem. Because I want to stay connected, because I want to keep the touch so that you'll know what I'm going to do. But the problem is when I lose skill and keep strength, and I like pressure, go ahead and do it. Ow! Wait, Mom, let go! Let go! What are you doing? Okay? Or, if they feel like I'm trying to hold on to them, it makes them want to get away from me. Okay? So what we're going to do is as soon as we shake, where did I tell you you found comfort? So what we're going to do, and I don't want to trap your fingers. I want to leave your fingers free. I want my fingers free, but I want to be connected to you. So what I'm going to do is slide like this. Do this. Open your fingers up, both of you. Open your fingers up. Make them go like this. You should feel like you've created a bird. A butterfly. You're connected, but you're free to move. Close them down. They can hold on to you. They can use strength. They might use skill. It's comforting because you've got pressure down there at the palm. And here's the really cool part. Hold on to them with your strength fingers, and you still can use your skill fingers. How cool is that? And you turn it so you're underneath, which gives the sense of, I'm here to support you and help you, not to try to keep you from doing things. Okay?
All right, we're going to pause and back up just a little bit.
Now.
Oh, see, he's still looking. All right, so when you were touching yourself, after you closed your eyes and we touched, you, how did it feel when you got to touch yourself? It's okay, right? You didn't feel, and before you felt a little violated, didn't you? Yeah, you probably maybe wanted to punch somebody if they were touching you and they didn't know your eyes are closed, right? So you can see why some people with dementia will lash out, right? Because they don't necessarily know what you're doing, right? So Teepa's trying to teach us how to make sure we see the people first, or they see you, right? So let's go ahead and go through those 5 areas again that she went through. What's the first area that we need to make sure that the resident does when they perhaps enter the room, right? See, right? So go ahead and take your thumb, remember it's see. Yep. And then what? Perhaps hear, right? And then what?
Touch.
Yeah. And then the other 2 senses are smell and taste, right? So just a reminder on that, please. Good. So let's try the butterfly, supportive and pressure for comfort, as she just demonstrated. So go ahead and make sure that when you approach your partner that they can see you. A good distance is actually 6 feet for social distancing. So when you lean forward, you want to make sure you're going to want to connect then. Like she said, like the butterfly. See that? Good job there, Michelle. Let's see your butterfly. Good, and so the caregiver's hand goes under, so you can pull up a little bit. And you just hold it, yeah, just gently hold. And so what Teepa was also demonstrating was you can use these two stronger, this is your string fingers thing, in that butterfly hold to hold the hand. And then I can use my fingers to move with that caregiver as I'm doing things. Make sure you see what I'm doing, all right? So try that a little bit, just go up and down and let her see what I'm doing. Good, okay, great. How did that make you feel? How did that make you feel, Christine?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't
Not
a
bad?
experience.
Okay, how about you, Carrie?
Oh, it's good. Very comfortable.
So why do you think that's so different than if you didn't do that?
Because people's perception is you hold them too tight. If you do a regular handshake and it's not like you and I, the dimension they think are gonna harm them.
Good point. Good point, Steve.
Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna lay your other hand on top of the back of their hands. You try this. Get them to, oh, now this is an interesting phenomenon. The oldest sensory motor track in the human brain is eye hand. It is the one that develops first. You put a baby, sit it up at 3 months. What will happen if you let go? Down it goes. It doesn't even have trunk control. Doesn't have head control. But if you lay it on its back, so it doesn't have to do a whole lot of work, and you put the dangly crap down, right in the middle range. They're fascinated by it, because they like to see it. And then they're just starting to learn how to do some of this stuff. They're not very good at it, that's a skill. They just have some strength. They're learning how. And they're learning to move against gravity. And so, and you can watch it when they get it, it's like, look what I did! Did you see it? I have control! And suddenly their excitement builds because they have the feeling that they control the world. So what we're going to do, that's the oldest, most primitive sensory motor system in the brain. It's the one that's going to prevail the longest through the end of this disease. It'll be the last one I lose. I can. But I'll lose skill before I lose strength.
Okay, why don't you practice again? Go ahead and turn to your partner. Yeah. Let's go ahead and practice the butterfly hand under hand. Great. Excellent. All right, and then let's go ahead and put your hand on top of the other hand, and let's do a squeeze. Squeeze with your bottom hand. What happened there, Christine, when I did that? You weren't looking at me.
No.
Then nice swallows your hand. Did you look at me?
Yeah.
Just look the other way. Go ahead and see. Did you see? Did you feel the difference? I'm gonna walk around and see. I see that. That's a lot there. Very nice. So does it feel different when your partner is when they squash your hand? When they do this? Yeah, okay. So, have you ever noticed eye contact, drawing hand contact, or hand contact, causing eye contact before in your own experience? Have you ever had to do this before? You have those people? You want to talk about it?
I had a memory care unit before I came here, and a lot of the residents do have to do that with them. And normally they put their hands on top of the doors and hold on to it. And it's just cute in a way.
And when you do a pair, they'll use it as like stability. You
Right.
have your hand on the bottom so they can actually, transfer, they'll apply pressure to you.
It actually gives you some control as well, so let me show you something. So I've got my hand here, and so if I need to help you with your, what was she gonna show with your hair, or watching, your teeth. And so instead, we can do it together, and that's when Teepa shines. So what do you think of that? Good. Why don't you turn to each other and discuss your thoughts on how that would make you feel? I mean, if you have that opportunity to get, somebody was helping you, you gotta participate as somebody with dementia. What do you think a dementia person's gonna feel? Go ahead and talk to each other.
Feel more self-esteem.
Feel comfortable, and trust is trust me.
Okay, let's go ahead and get that.
And here's the really cool part about human beings. How cool is this? Visual motor. Watch. She's here, she's looking around. So let your partner look around for a second. They're distracted, the world's really interesting, they're excited. Oh, how cool is this? Take your other hand, lay it gently on the back, and give a pump in the hand. And no matter what they're doing, they will pause, they will look at the hand, and they will look at you. Let them look away. Pause. Give them a chance. Check. Because when your hand touches something, your eyes want to see what it is. When your eyes are looking at something, it will also draw your hands. That's the other bad news. So what their eye sees, their hand wants to touch.
This is good demonstration.
And you're surprised when they start doing it. Well, you're the one that said, exactly. You put it right where they can see it, within arm's reach, and they're going, okay, look, goodies. On the other hand, no matter what she's doing, she's gonna once I've got her looking
So
at
that
it.
visual is important.
She travels with me, so her brain is both getting and getting. I've reestablished the two parts of the loop so that she is doing with me, I am not doing to her. And she can give me feedback. I'm liking this scared me, this is okay. Take more time here, but this was fine. Can she give me all that feedback? Yeah, we're talking to each other without words. Because what I'm doing is using what she has left to help me communicate with her with the way that she can get the communication, as opposed to overwhelming her system with data. Okay? So with your partner, I want you to give that a try.
Let's do it. You ready?
Feel the difference between touching with versus touching someone.
Pause the video. Let's do it. All right, go ahead and try me. Stand up. Stand up. Make sure your eye level. Go. Let's try it. Is that out?
Here, I'll my video.
Right.
Okay, so now. Yeah, I would do like this.
Good job.
I can hand my arm that way, just try this way. Yeah, that way.
Hey, so what happened there?
Mimic what they're doing.
Yeah. How did that feel for you? And tell me about how that felt. How that made you feel? If you were somebody with dementia, how would you feel, do you think, if you were helping versus the caregiver just did up to each other?
No, I don't think they're doing it themselves. I mean, they're helping themselves too. It gives a little bit more independence.
Just control.
Yeah.
has a term, and the term I've given that kind of assistance is hand under hand. It denotes the position of my hand. My hand is under yours. My hand is there to support you. You're the boss. I'm here to help. I'm here to guide. I'm here to assist. I'm not here to take over and try to do things to you. I want to do things with you. Because I know if I can get your brain to understand what I'm doing, you're going to cooperate. You can give me feedback, even when you can't speak anything. You can give me feedback that doesn't result in me getting better. We can figure out ways to share information because I'm paying attention to what you're able to do. So I'm going to show you where this data, this process in your brain is huge. Do this. The entire top surface of your brain is devoted to sensory, motor, sensation and movement, and they are, do this, hardwired together. What you feel drives what you do. What you do drives what you feel. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And there is wiring between what you see and what you do. And there is wiring in a normal brain between auditory processing and sensory motor processing. So if I were to say for you, for two of you all, stand up because they're downstairs, your brain would take in that auditory data, translate that into an action statement, and get your body organized to stand up, and you would even know where we were headed. By late stage dementia, that's exactly what people with dementia hear when we try to give them auditory data. They lose the content, but they keep the rhythm, and they can't figure out what we're trying to get them to do. And it's not because they're not trying, and it's not because we're not trying. It's because we're using the wrong system for what they have left.
Wait, have you ever thought about why it's MID?
So the other two,
What's your stuff about? You ever think that why them, we were using the wrong system?
What we've learned.
Huh?
That's what we've learned.
That's what we've learned, right, right, just what I was talking about earlier, I know you came in a little late. When I first became a nurse, we just wanted to tie everyone down that had dementia, because that's what we learned, it was wrong, right? So now we're learning how to, a different approach to help people with dementia to meet them and help their brain to even function more, by creating that hand-on-hand, underhand contact, and helping them to, help with their care, right? So how does this activity and process help you better understand why problems sometimes arise when we are trying to help someone? Just talk to each other about that. Turn to your partner. You did. So think about, this, when you might use this at work. How would you apply this in your day-to-day work? Anyone want to share? Can you think of a scenario? A real-life scenario?
I would think like with Miss Davis, is always getting up and moving around and, you know, when she wants to, or Miss, also, usually I offer her my arm and she'll take my arm and she still feels control because I'm offering her my arm, but I'm also at the same time making sure that she's not falling when I find her walking around without a wheelchair. So, because she's not supposed to be really walking around without it.
Yes.
So, but still walking with her, yes, I'm not doing the hand, but I'm doing the arm and letting her have control over that.
Come here. Let's try it. Okay, I'm Miss Davis, I'm lighting up because I like to decorate.
Yes.
Okay, so I need to get up.
So, so usually, I just, sometimes I wet it and I let her hold, and sometimes you have to do.
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Sometimes you sort of have to do both hands with her. So that gives her the control to stand up, so she's not gonna fall down.
Teepa has a really good, recognition with that piece as well, I'm gonna show you, because I love where you're going with that. So you can actually go right under the elbow, like you're gonna do a two-step,
Okay.
and then walk.
Okay.
So here we go, let's go.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
her a lot is just, too, is just letting her stand up, not really, just letting her stand up and stretch her legs, I think it is.
Thank you for sharing, that was wonderful. Yeah. Does anyone else want to share? I thought that was a good example.
What you smell and what you taste. Those are your five senses. Those are the ways you get data into your brain. So what are they? What you see, what you hear, what you feel and do, what you smell, and what you taste. These three are your skill manipulators. These two are strong and primitive. But people with dementia are just in the opposite way, like children when it comes to sensory data. Children develop which of these first? Curiosity or safety awareness? Which do they get first? Curiosity. Who's in charge of safety awareness? Someone else, not them. They can care less about safety awareness. They're curious about everything. They want to investigate everything. They're curious. They want to check it out. They have absolutely no safety awareness. Fortunately for everybody, they're pretty well padded. They have pretty quick reflexes. They don't have necks. Their heads sit right on top of their shoulders. They have long torso. They've really got lots of padding everywhere, for both insulation and padding. And their bones are not fragile. They're pretty dense. They bang them. When you get dementia, your brain thrives in the opposite way it's developed. It dies, it thrives. It's not working in the opposite way. So what are they going to keep? Curiosity. What are they going to lose? Safety awareness. Here's a heads up, you're not my mother. I resent it when you try to be my mother because I live a rich full life. I am not 3 years old. I am not 18 months old. You don't treat me like that. And yet my skill set requires me to figure out how to create an environment that's safe for me. But it still has to have this, or I won't stay there. If it's too much, I get overwhelmed. And it's not safe. And I don't have what they have. I don't have padding. My bones are fragile. My fat pads are all on my trunk. I have a nice strength. And I'm losing skills. And I lose them in the opposite way of development. That's the reality.
Alrighty, let's do those 5, remember at the beginning I showed you those 5? Let's do it again, let's practice what she was talking about. Alright, remember the song, maybe, everyone was in preschool, maybe at some point, head, shoulders, knees and toes. Let's just do vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste, touch, smell, taste. Ready? Let's try it. Vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste. Touch, smell, taste. Touch, smell, taste. There we go. Vision. Ready? Who's first? Ready? Hearing, touch, smell, taste. Touch, smell, taste. Vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste. Vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste. Try it again. Who's got it? Vision, good. Hearing, touch, smell, taste. Right. Vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste. Vision, hearing, touch, smell, taste. Vision, good. Hearing, touch, smell, taste. That helps. For those of you who are kinesthetic learners, maybe that helps. If you're logical or mathematical, probably not so much. But we gotta work with everybody.
Real quickly, we're going to go back to our skin. Because what I want you to realize, human beings, when they decide to go do something, what happens is I was sitting here and I got a call to my appetite. I'm thirsty. Core. Well, the core of my brain is in the center part of it. Do this. This is the limbic system. This is that drive to survive. This is the part that says I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I've got to eat, I've got to food. And now it's time. You guys are getting close to that. It's Look, temperature regulation. It's also how I fight infections. It's heart rate, respiratory rate. It's wake-sleep cycle. All that's in the core of my brain, in the limbic system. And then part of that limbic system, put your index fingers out, is my amygdala. Your amygdala is the survival thing, it's your impulse center. Yeah! Fight, flight, fight. Part of the limbic, but it's special. It's basically designed to protect you in moments of danger. So it's, shit, what was that? No, I don't like that. I want what I want when I want it. Do that. Oh, what was that? What was that? Because some of you can't say shit. I don't know why. I don't know certain situations, but just not in front of everybody. Oh, what was that? That's right. Then, no, that's right. I want what I want when I want it. Fight. Fight, flight, right. Automatic, basic core stuff. Then around the outside is built other stuff. The last part of the human brain you develop, and right up here, is this one. Safety awareness. That ability to think things through, to be thoughtful, to consider your options, to control that limbic system, that autonomic system, and instead say, you know what, not a good idea. Hang on there. Let's not go right now. Let's wait a second. Making decisions. Initiating, sequencing, terminating, and being able to see something from somebody else's point of view. Very last part of the human brain development. There are some people who never get it. Just so you know. You know them. So here I am in the living room, and I decided to make coffee. That was my limbic system saying you're thirsty, go get something. And I started to act on that, but what happened? Oh, look, gosh, telephone rang, an interruption, auditory. I knew what to do, I answered the phone because I recognized what it was. And then when I heard my friend's voice, I knew who it was, but I could not think of her name right that moment. That is normal aging. And here's why. What happens with normal aging is the following. Put your hand in the back of your brain. For each human being you've ever met, you take a picture, snapshot. If you see them multiple times, you have multiple snapshots. And you have them each in a file folder marked that person. But then, in order to come up with the name of that person, you have to go up here to the left, temporal lobe, and find your file cabinet for names. You have to sort down through the list of names to find the one that matches that picture. And then what you have to do, go over here, you have to do voice recognition, and match it up, and then out of your mouth from this side comes the word, hey, Daddy. Here's a reality check. Our speed of processing slows over time. It's basically 0.5 to 1% per year from the time you're 25 on. Yeah, around 40 to 50, you're starting to notice the slowing. And so I go to get the data, and it's like, the mouse is not clicking nearly as fast. Now, let me tell you something about these mouse. If you keep clicking that button, you freeze the mouse up. The mouse goes, I don't know what you want. Hang on, stop. I don't know what, wait a minute, I'm thinking. What am I thinking? I can't tell you anymore. You want me to think of something. I can't think of it. Oh, wait. It starts with B. I got to the file going, only got to the one area, but I couldn't come up with the name as quick as I wanted to come up with the name and the expectation. And so some of us go, oh, hey, sweetheart, how are you? I'm cheating. I'm using automatic system to cover for the loss. And some of you call me on, what do you think this is? Why are you so mean? One of these days you'll be older. You'll have that moment of, I don't know. This is why we give you name tags. This is why name tags are a good thing. Because what did I provide for your eyeballs? So there it is. I don't even look at the file cabinet. Look, I found it. So as you get with older people, you'll start to notice when you wear your name tag, they look at your name tag after they look at your face and then they say your name. That's because they're smart. Some of you are doing it here. And if not, you hate when people call you on this. Why are we so mean? Here's what you want to learn how to do. Hey, Betty, it's Teepa. Why don't we talk like that anymore? We used to say things, and there was a polite way that you did the telephone. You don't do it anymore. You go, hey, you know who I am? Or my least favorite, when you know somebody has dementia, Mom, which one am I? What is this, a quiz right away? I don't like you very much anymore. You're making me feel stupid. How many people like feeling stupid? Raise your hand if it's your favorite way to feel. We've got to quit doing this, because what ends up happening is you shut down my system, you don't make it work. Because right away you shove your agenda at it. So when we go downstairs, which we are gonna do, because you know what I'm noticing? Your limbics are starting to get really active. Y'all had coffee and juice, you had this, and your limbic is going, we need to pee now. I need to get up, I need to go pee. We go pee? I thought we were gonna pee. Are we not gonna go pee? I need to go pee. And so your limbic system is sort of queuing you up. We got to go soon. And it better not be long. And getting out of the chairs, we gotta be careful. Because also I will tell you, some of you have to cue the system up. And here's the first thing. Tell me what you do first thing in the morning when you're back. You wanna know what you do? Hold the pee. Because in the very beginning, your limbic said we need to pee. And when you were really little, what happened when you needed to pee? You pee. As you get older, you learn that, not here, not now. We have to put it in a place, a certain place. As you get a little older, these systems are not working as quick and sharp as you might hope. So you actually have to devote energy to hold the pee, make the other person's work, but hold the pee, keep holding the pee, hold that pee. Keep holding it, ooh, we're in the bathroom, do not let go. Hang on tight. Got to do a lot of other things, keep holding the pee, hold back the pee while you go, okay, now put it down. Now the guys have another problem. Okay, now you can let go. Okay, really, you can. It just relax. No, don't hold on. No, come on, there's more. I'm telling you there's more. Come on, let's let it out. Come on. No, don't tighten up. No, that's not enough. So the women have stress incontinence and the guys have bladder outlet problems. They have retention. So this is the tricky part of getting old. It has nothing to do with dementia. If you put dementia on top of it, then you have big issues. When we meet back downstairs, what we're going to do is finish out the scenario and talk about skill building. And the whole thing is going to come together for you to help you appreciate how you can help people take in data and how you can use your skill to be supported.
So real quick before our break, we gotta talk a little bit about where we
We
saw.
need to do a quick review because we've changed places. And one of the things we know about brains is where
We're on that. So, has anyone had children here? How many of you have had children, or an aunt, or, yes, who has small children? Who has small grandchildren? So, have they ever been in an unsafe situation where they're curious? And how did that make you feel?
Yeah.
Scary, right. So, how did you handle it? Talk to me, Jeff.
Like talking to one another about it.
So given what you know, does what happened make sense about the child? With dementia though, and what you know now, can you think of a scenario that might change? Because you can recognize a fight or flight or fright complex.
What's the way you approach? It's the way you approach something.
Exactly.
And it's no different than how you approach a child,
Yes.
you know, that wants to do something, you know, they're gonna go against you. Children are always gonna go against you because it's what they want to do. Same with your dementia patients. If you start saying, you gotta sit down, you know, or getting them there, there's a reason they wanna ambulate. Maybe they have to go to the bathroom, maybe they, you know, maybe they want to ambulate or whatever. So you have to kind of figure it out. It's kind of up to you to figure out what you can do to make it easier on them. Whether that's taking them to the bathroom on a more frequent basis or letting them ambulate. And we have, in skilled care, we have too much time that we put people in wheelchairs and leave them there, or cherry chairs or whatever. And these people want to ambulate. They want to get up and move. You know, if it's possible, we should be able to do exactly what you and Anne Marie did and just walk them a little bit, and that may settle it down from all this fidgeting and trying to get up and help prevent falls that way.
Excellent. Well, let's go and take a stretch break, 5 minute,
She had to talk about pee.
I know.
That was not a good
It's
thing.
so real though.
Yeah, we used to, at one of the last two facilities I had, we always had a walk to dine. So the residents was, that helped a lot, was walk to dine, was to help them walk, and get into the dining room and then walking back, and that gave them that exercise every day.
It's a wonderful program. That's a wonderful one. Did you get some food?
Oh, I got something.
Aw, what kind?
I don't know yet.
You're gonna what?
You see the gray one that I sent you? Mm-hmm. They don't have that one anymore.
Really? Where are you adopting a puppy from?
Rainbow Humane Society.
Oh.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Help you appreciate how you can help people, say things like that, how you can use it. Still, be supportive.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I'm gonna steal another banana from you for later.
It's for you anyway. It's for you anyway.
That's better.
I had to start talking about having to pee, and I'm like going, oh, God,
I know,
no,
but-
don't do
yeah,
that.
I know it. My daughter is expecting a child in September, and she's recognizing some changes there.
Oh,
With
yeah.
the pressure.
With the pressure.
She's 22 years old. She's like, Mom. Yeah. We have to get something. It's okay.
You know, they talk about dementia. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and his daughter's college age, and he was talking about her going and participating in the protests in Charlotte, and now he's like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Well, she turned up yesterday, he called me, she turned up yesterday, COVID positive. A whole bunch of them that went are all COVID positive. And so he's like, now she's like, Dad, you were right.
Little infection, kind of like a cold going around.
Yeah.
So share their space.
Yeah, and you try to
Well,
protect,
she gets well and she's not gonna have a lot of symptoms.
yeah, and you help, you try to protect them, but even at 20 years old, you can't protect them.
My 17-year-old, he's a sweetheart, but you say one thing, he'll say the opposite just because he wants to. Just because, hey. So, he likes to work out, but, you wants to go work out now. Oh, no. And then he's just sitting there. And then he may go up later. Don't want to do it now.
Did he come back with you?
He did.
Did he? Wow, awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet. So, he's low key. Well, the gym is now open at the hotel.
What's that?
The gym's now open at the hotel.
Oh, is it a very good one though?
Good enough. You guys ready to get started? Let's go.
And you know, quick review, because we change places. And one of the things we know about brains is where you learn and hear something matters. And one of the things as we get older, it matters more than you think. When you change rooms, your brain resets the screen. And that is one of the reasons, even if there wasn't a phone call, you might walk from one room to the other and then, what was it I came in here for? Because when you're in a whole new setting, look at all the new data that's coming in and it's bombarding your senses. And if you didn't strongly hook the thing you wanted to go do into that, what's called working memory, by the time you get to the new place, there's nothing to find. Unless you go back to where you had the thought before and then you can find it. Now, I just said a word that's really important, working memory. We now know there's a whole variety of different kinds of memory storage in the human brain. We used to just think it was either long-term and short-term. That's not true. Working memory is probably one of the most vital kinds of memories, and it involves a complex process. Do this. Working memory means that you have to wire together all parts of your brain to get it to work. Because it's complex, human beings can hold the following number of things in working memory. Working memory means I'm able to manipulate and work with them all at the same time. 5, put your hand up. 5, wonderful, 5 to 8. That's the most a human being can hold on to, and this is the least that a normal functioning human being should be able to hold on to at a time. 5 to 8. So I should be able to hold on to at least 5 pieces of information in my working memory. It's actually pretty complicated. I've got to do a variety of things to do it, but I can. So what I did when I wanted to make coffee, when I was sitting there finishing the TV program, I put make coffee in working memory. And then I went to a new place, and before I could get settled in the new place, the kitchen, which is where I would make the coffee, the telephone rings. So I didn't quite make it to the kitchen to establish the relationship, which would have allowed me to go ahead and do what? Make coffee, I could have finished it off. But instead, what happened is the telephone rang. Attention, new data, incoming. So what I did is I went right to the telephone, and the first thing, it was my friend. Now I got diverted a little bit, because what did I have to find? Because the way she did it. Her name, so that took a little energy, so it's my friend Betty. And then she asked me a question, do you want to meet? She gave me data at 2 o'clock, at the mall, at Macy's. She told me it was a new chocolate store that I opened. And then I had to hold on to the information about that, and then I had to go find the thing that I know she likes. So I had to go do that, and it was for the white, shut up. The white. Now that reaction was you trying to give me more data when I was already trying to work with data. And so what did you notice my little limbic did? Shut up, I don't like that. So shut up is a way to say, you're trying to do too much, and I didn't like that. And it's a fight system. It was an automatic. So people say, shut up, I'm trying to, but you leave me alone. That distress sign is just, you're trying to put data in, and I'm already processing, do you mind? And what you want to say is, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry, I was just trying to help you. Like, what part of I was trying to process data and you're interrupting did you not get? And what's our natural reaction when somebody says, shut up? No, I was going to tell you why I was interrupting you. That's what you want to do. Do this. Go ahead, do it. Y'all love diarrhea of the mouth. You get diarrhea of the mouth. You try to tell them even when they say, don't tell me. You ignore their message back to you because you have important. You wanted to understand why you interrupted them. I give a shit why you interrupted me. All I'm trying to tell you is quit interrupting me so I can finish what I was doing. Now some of us are always that way, but guess what happens when you get dementia? Even if you weren't, you become more that way. Guess what happens when you're stressed? Same thing. So professionals, when you're trying to talk to families about, this is what I want you to, shut up, I can't take it. Family members are trying to talk to another family member. I can't hear this right now. Would you, particularly you're trying to talk to the one who's the primary, because you're observing that their behavior is not helping. And they're going, ah! And you're going, wait, I just want to tell you. What did they just tell you? I'm full, leave it alone. We have a hard time hearing that message, don't we? Because it means we need to do what? Take a time out, just shut up. And then when they pause, that's when you say, I'm sorry, I interrupted what you were doing. Because we want to work with them, not fight with them. And if you keep pushing,